should we go to? Let's go to Fiona Atkinson next, who's calling us from Kendal in Cumbria. Hello.
Hello, Anita. Thank you for having me on.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for calling. So, Fiona, you were listening to the programme and I get sort of one little line and it says here, Fiona's depressed. Are you?
I'm depressed as it's still being a debate. I'm right with Yasmin, when she said she feels hopeless and depressed. And I think one of the reasons for that, and I've phoned into this show before to say this, why is this still considered debate? The other people on the panel besides Yasmin just sound like fantasists or tweakers. You've got your fantasists who think some kind of techno miracle is going to occur to suck carbon out of the air. You've got people who think we can just carry on basically with a business model, with capitalism, without acknowledging that that's exactly how we got to this mess. We cannot grow our way out of this. So what we need to do is to completely change what we're doing and stop it being a political debate. It's a fact. You've got climate scientists across the world tearing their hair out because people aren't accepting this as a reality. So I want to say to you as the BBC, why are you platforming? The American guy was a denier, and he's getting a chance to speak as if his opinion up against all the world's top scientists is valid. When does it stop?
Well, you're talking about Greg Swinson, who was a Republican overseas voice on the programme. And I mean, this is what he said. He said, this is all about mismanagement of the climate. Mismanagement of controlled burns is what this is about, not the climate. I think there needs to be common sense. And if you go to an extreme, I would call this climate extremism.
Well, that's climate denial, isn't it, Anita? Wouldn't it be nice if we were deciding that we would move on and we would make sure that everybody in the country understood the science? Because one of the reasons this is still seen as a political debate is because people don't know enough. And that's what's depressing. Here we have the biggest threat to humanity that we've ever had. And the people who really understand it think we're not doing enough and we're not acting with urgency. We can see it. Every day we are seeing it either outside. The people of Tenbury Wells have been flooded now 7 times in 4 years. That's the truth. There are people in this country right now, not in the future, Anita, right now who cannot get insurance for their housing. And yet we're still failing to deal with it. So our current political system is failing because it's short term. So what we need to do is we need to have a citizens' assembly on this. Locally, communities need to get together and look at how they're going to help protect themselves from it. It's a reality, but nationally we need a cross-party committee. The government's own climate change committee are saying we are not going to hit net zero by 2030 unless we take huge actions. We've got to change our ways and we've got to stop the growth agenda.
Well, we've got people agreeing. I'm agreeing with some, if not all, of what you're saying. Brian Madigan is saying warnings about CO2 emissions were made decades ago, yet we continue to exploit fossil fuels and rely on unsustainable food production. We've got Irene Delamere, who's been in touch. The forest fires used to happen once a year, now it's several times a year. All countries say they're going to sort things out, and they do nothing. Let's take another on this. Adam Dawson calling us from Buckinghamshire. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's the point you wanted to make, Adam?
So I had 2 points on the climate risk points. I work in the